Hi, and welcome back to Let's Bake and Cook Stuff. Today I'm making some cookies. I'm going to be using a vanilla type of cut up chocolate and a chocolate cut up chocolate. I had some almond bark left over from a few months ago and I want to use it up instead of throwing it away. So I'm going to make some cookies. I'm going to see my friends Gail and Bob today and I want to bring them some cookies. And I'm leaving the nuts out because Bob doesn't like nuts, which, whatever. So, but anyway, what I'm going to try and do is, I left the butter cold. I know, right? So I wanted to see if that would help them stay more uniform instead of flattening out. See if they'll stay more, curvy. And we'll see. It might not work. 1 cup of butter, which is 2 sticks, and 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar and 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. I'm gonna beat these up just to get them mixed together. Okay, now that butter was solid. Okay, so this has been beat up. That took about a minute. And you can see there's still kind of good. You can still see the butter in there a little bit, right? Almost like when you're doing a pastry crust, okay? And I still want to see a little bit of that butter in there. And we'll see. This might not work out. I ain't gonna lie about it. I haven't tried it before. So I want to do the eggs next. And this is usually the way I do it. You cream the butter together with the sugars, and then you add the eggs. I'm also going to add the vanilla extract. This is 1½ teaspoons of vanilla extract. I'm going to add that in there, but again, I'm not going to be mixing it too much. I'm just combining it, if that makes any sense. If you can compare those two ideas. All right, those are combined. I have 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 cup of whole wheat flour. Now you can use all-purpose flour if you choose. You don't have to use the whole wheat. I like the nuttiness that it brings to the table, but if you don't want that, then feel free. Now I'm just gonna, again, combine this flour with these other ingredients, and then we should be good to go. And then I'm just gonna hand stir in the chocolate pieces. Okay. Now this is mostly mixed. You can see there's still a little bit of flour in there. Okay, I'm going to mix in these. You need 2 cups of these chips. Now you could just use regular chocolate chips. This is a milk chocolate and a white chocolate. It's actually a vanilla flavored. I think I told you it's the almond bark, and it's the vanilla flavored almond bark and the chocolate flavored almond bark. So it's not real chocolate, but I'm trying it out. Okay, that's completely combined now. We've got no visible dry flour in there, okay? Now I want 1 cup of each of these different kinds of chips. I was gonna say chocolate, but they're not chips. I mean, they're not chocolate, they're just chips. All right, so 1 cup of the chocolate, milk chocolate, and then 1 cup of these white, I was gonna say white chocolate, but they're not white chocolate, they're vanilla flavored, right? So I use these melting chocolates. I use them for cake pops, and I use them at Christmas time to dip my. I have some cookies and some candy that gets dipped in it. So, but I haven't used them, and they need to be used up. So I'm going to see Gail and Bob today. So I thought I'd see if I could make up a different kind of cookie and see. I'm basically just using my usual chocolate chip cookie recipe that I always make, that I use with semi-sweet chips, but I always also put nuts in them. Actually, that's not true. I don't always put nuts. When I make them for my daughter-in-law, I don't put nuts. And then at Christmas time, I do 1 batch without nuts and 1 batch with nuts, because my daughter-in-law and my son and their kids don't like the nuts. So, all right. Oh, that looks so good. Okay. Ungreased cookie sheet. Okay. I'm using, I think I already told you, this is a 2 tablespoon scoop. So you can do this by tablespoons, or you can do two tablespoons. You can make these any size you want. So you're making them. The only thing is you want to be careful not to put them too close together, depending on how big they are, because you don't want them to spread. I mean, I guess if you don't care if they spread, but they will spread a little bit. And I think while the first batch is in, what I'm gonna do is put the next batch in the fridge and see if it makes a difference in how poofy they are. Because in the summertime, I notice when I bake cookies, what happens is they get so flat. And it's because it's so warm and the butter, you know how you soften the butter to room temperature? When you do it in the winter, room temperature is lower. So your butter doesn't get as melted or as soft as it does if you leave it out, you know, on your counter in the summertime. You know, even with your air conditioner on, it still gets warmer in here. So, okay, I'm gonna put these in and see what happens. But meanwhile, I'm gonna put another tray in the fridge. So I'm gonna put these in for 10 minutes. While those are baking, I'm gonna put this next batch on the tray, already scooped up, and then I'm gonna put them in the refrigerator. And when I bake them, I'm gonna see if it keeps them from spreading out as much. So I'm gonna put these in the fridge while those other ones are baking, and then we're gonna see if it makes any difference in the final outcome. These go in the oven 375 for 10 to 12 minutes. While you're waiting, you could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, so that when I put a new video out, your bell will ring and it'll tell you, hey, Mary's got a new video out. Check it out. They look pretty good to me. Let's see what you think. These are gonna be good. For most cookies, you let them sit for a couple of minutes. This is 2 minutes with these. And then you remove them from the pan and you put them on a cooling rack. Okay, I'm gonna put them on the cooling rack right now so I can get the other cookies out of the fridge and put those in there and see how those turn out. The reason you do that, FYI, if you take them off now, they'll fall apart because they're still gooey and doughy. But if you wait just like 2 minutes, maybe 3, when you take them off, they'll come off easier. Then you can let them cool on the rack. But if you leave them on too long, if you say you left this on for 10, 15 minutes, which I have done it, so I can speak from experience, if you leave them on for 10 or 15 minutes, they harden up again and they stick right to the pan as if they were meant to be together. So it's a good idea to let them cool just a couple of minutes. Set your timer if you need to. 2 minutes, take them off, put them on the rack, let them cool completely, or, eat them warm, which is, the right thing to do. All right, let's see how these refrigerated ones go. We're gonna put them in for 10 minutes and see what happens. See if we need that to go a little bit longer or if 10 minutes is gonna be okay. It wouldn't be any less, I don't think, because I think 10 minutes was good for these and these weren't refrigerated, so it should be okay. Then we're gonna take them off, put them on the rack. We're gonna put it, You know what you might do too, if you didn't want to put your already scooped cookies in there, is put your dough in there for a little bit and let it harden up. The only thing is, it's so much harder to deal with. It's so much harder to scoop it out once it's hard. So that's why I kind of wanted to scoop them out and put them in the refrigerator as already scooped up. So, but I do have some cookies that say you're supposed to refrigerate them first. My ginger snaps, you have to. If you'd like to see my ginger snaps, put in the comments. Let me know if you'd like to see ginger snaps be done. I make the best ginger snaps. I mean, that's my opinion. But they're really good. They actually have pepper in them, ground pepper. So let me know if you'd like to see that. But meanwhile, I'm going to take these off of here so that these can cool on the rack. And then we're going to wait for those other ones to come out of the oven. And then we're going to find out if my experiment worked. Thanks for watching. Don't go away though, because we're not done. Wait till you see what I'm going to do with them after they're done baking. It's going to be so fun. Thanks for joining me. Don't take off. We're not done. We've got more to do. We got more cookies to bake. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Oh, these are a little poofier. Look at that. Yeah, they stayed a little not so. Those aren't flat, but they're less flat. These are less flat. Okay, so we're going to stick them in the fridge. In fact, I think I'll put the dough in there while I'm waiting. And that was 10 minutes for these as well, so it didn't take any longer. You can see they're brown around the edges. Let me show you. Anyway, they took the same amount of time, 10 minutes. And you can see they're brown around the edges. I don't know if you can see, but they're good. They're good to go. And that was 10 minutes, even though they were in the fridge. So I don't know. It's science. Okay, we're back, and guess what we're gonna do? Just for fun, I'm gonna put some of the, I melted some of the chocolate and the vanilla, whatever that is, vanilla, we'll just say candy melt. It's not the candy melt. And then I'm just gonna snap, really? Snap? I'm just gonna snip the tip off of here, just a tiniest bit. Okay, and then we're gonna just make some squiggly lines. I know, right? And it looks so fancy, and there's really nothing to it. I put about 2 tablespoons of this candy into a microwave-safe bowl and put them both in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Then I stirred them up, and now I'm putting them in these baggies, and now they're getting sprinkled on our cookies. How cool is that? Okay, now this is the chocolate. Since there's chocolate and the vanilla in there. Now I'm just going to snip the tip off of this chocolate one, just a tiny bit. Unless you want big wide lines, you can do it that way too. And then I'm just going to go over them. You could do it in opposite direction if you wanted. I'm going in the same direction, but I'm sure at some point my cookies are going to they're going to be going different ways. So take a look. Doesn't that make them look fancier? And it was no trouble at all. You just heat up the candy in the microwave and melt it. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and do it over the stove. But it's just a couple tablespoons, so I don't want to go through all that. And then you just put it in a zip top bag, snip a little hole in the tip of it, and then you spray it on there. It makes it look all fancy. It looks like the fanciest cookie ever, right? But it was no trouble. Anyway, I hope you try this recipe. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like and subscribe. I hope you leave me a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you try these cookies, be sure and let me know. Or you can also hashtag Let's Bake and Cook Stuff. If you put it on Instagram or if you put it on any social media and you hashtag Let's Bake and Cook Stuff, I'll be sure to see it, okay? You take care now. Enjoy these cookies. Enjoy the recipe. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.